Okay, today we're going to be classifying angles and find the missing angle measurements. There's some vocab words that we're hoping you are already familiar with. The acute angle is those angles that are less than 90 degrees, the cute little angles. The right angle is a pretty powerful angle because whenever I see an angle with this little box, I know that it is 90 degrees. The obtuse angle, those are your large angles that are over 90 but less than 180. The straight angle is going to be very helpful for us this week because whenever I can pick out a straight line, I know that I have 2 or 3 angles that equal 180 degrees. So be on the lookout for those straight lines. Okay, words that might be new to us. Complementary. Complementary is when I have 2 angles that have a sum of 90 degrees. If I take 50 plus 40, I get 90 degrees. That's what we call complementary. A is a complement to B. Next one is supplementary. Supplementary are 2 angles who have a sum of 180 degrees. So this is when we find those straight lines and we know they equal 180 degrees. Again, to test it out, 155 plus 25 equals that magical number of 180 degrees. Vertical angles are also helpful. These are my favorite because vertical angles are always congruent. Okay, so jot that down, congruent. So this definition is not great. So I'm going to add vertical angles are across from each other. They are across. So if I highlight A and I highlight B, I know they're congruent. So if it was 110, I know that angle B is also 110. Okay, also, angle C is vertical to angle B, so I would know those are also congruent, which is very helpful when I'm trying to figure out all my angle measurements. The last vocab word is adjacent. Adjacent means we have 2 angles that are next to each other. Next to, okay, and you can use this in life. Mrs. Banka's classroom is adjacent to Mr. Shobe's classroom. They're next to each other. So in geometry, though, we're looking at 2 angles that share a common side, share a common vertex. So here's your common side, here's your common vertex. So that makes them next to each other. Okay, on example 1, I've written down a couple of examples, so if you would pause and jot these down for me, that will be helpful. Okay, so the M stands for measurement. The measurement of angle A equals 32 degrees. The measurement of angle B equals 58 degrees. What we're trying to do is determine if these 2 angles are complementary, supplementary, or not either one, so neither. So complementary is the 90 degrees, supplementary is 180. So if I add my 2 angles together, what do I get? So add them up. 4 and 5 is 9. So measurement of angle A plus the measurement of angle B was 90 degrees. Looking at my vocab, I know that these 2 are complementary. Yes, write out the whole word. The more you write it, the sooner you'll memorize it. Okay, so done with our first example that we wrote down. Measurement of angle 1 plus the measurement of angle 2. Add them up, we get an 8, 3, 1. Well, that's not a magical number for us. So this is neither. Boom. Okay, one more to go. I have measurement of angle C plus the measurement of angle D. Add those up. 6, 7, 8. Things are looking good. That magical number, 180 degrees, okay, means I have supplementary. Write it all the way out. Supplementary angles. Yay. Okay. Supplementary angles. Angle C is a supplement to angle D. Okay. On example 2, I've gone through and gave you one of the angles in each of the diagrams. What's awesome about these problems is now I have a little puzzle I can piece together. All I need to know is one angle measurement. So if I tell you that measurement of angle 1 is 42, I can figure out the other 3. So the first thing I want you to write down is that angle 1 is vertical to angle 3. So if you notice vertical angles, that's going to save you some labor because vertical angles are easy. They are the same measurement. Okay? Now to figure out 2 and 4, I'm going to highlight one of these lines. So here I have a straight line. And what do I know about a straight line? They always add up to 180. So I'm going to take 180 minus the 42 and get 138. All right, what do I know about angle 2 in relationship to angle 4? Angle 2 is vertical to angle 4, which is handy because now I know that angle 4 is 138 degrees. All right, to kind of check my answer, if I took 42 plus 42 plus 138 plus 138. So if I add up all 4 angles, what do you think it would add up to? Because I just made a circle. So if I add these all up, it equals 360 degrees because it went full circle, which is a cool way to check our answers. All right, sliding over. This is one of those powerful angles because I see that little box. That little box tells me I have a 90-degree angle here. So if this angle is 90 degrees and a little sliver of it is 18, and I have this word given here, we just refer to that as our given angle. So just in conversation there. So to figure out this missing angle here, I know that 90 degrees minus 18 will get me that angle measurement. So 90 minus that 18 is 72 degrees. And again, I could check my answer by taking 72 plus 18 equals 90. So just backtracking and making sure it still adds up. Sometimes we make subtraction errors, so always good to check. Okay, on this last one, I gave you a given angle of 35 degrees. So that angle, I'm talking about that acute angle right there. But I noticed that angle 4 and at 35 degrees form that 90-degree angle. So I gave you that box, so we would have that number 2. So if we want to do number 4 real fast, we could take 90 minus 35 equals 55. Okay. I think on the bottom here I'm going to make a little list if you want to write it down with me. Measurement of angle 1 equals measurement of angle 2 equals measurement of angle 3 and measurement of angle 4. Okay, so we just figured out 4 is 55 degrees. Yay, us. All right, the next one I want to solve, I want to highlight this straight up and down line here. I know that lines equal 180 degrees. So to figure out this obtuse angle for angle 1, I can take 180 minus 35. So 180 minus our 35, we know that angle 1 is 145. All right. To highlight another angle, let's note that this one here is another straight line. So to figure it out, I could take the 180 minus 145. But that's actually too much work because this 35-degree angle is vertical to my angle 2. So I don't have to do any work at all. I know that they're vertical and vertical angles are congruent. So adding to my diagram, this one is also 35. All right, so I have everything done but one. I know 55, 35, 145, and 35. So I could think about my circle. I could do 360 minus those 4 to figure out this last one. That's one option. Looks like a lot of work to me though. I also see this orange line again, and I know that I have a straight line. So I can do, for angle 3, I could do 180 minus 55 minus 35. Okay, do you see that orange, now purple line? All add up to the 180. So if I take away those two acute angles, I'll find my angle 3, which is 90 degrees. Which makes sense, because if this side is 90, 90 and 90 make the 180. So I'm pretty confident with that answer. Again, I could add those all up, and they make the full circle to double check my work.